Thank you for tuning in with me today. My name is Pam Hanks. I will be doing interviews with some successful women who will share some secrets and their tips and tricks on the things that they have developed in their lives to make them be incredibly successful. Stay tuned, and I thank you so much for subscribing to my channel.
Well, good afternoon, good morning, good day, whatever time it happens to be where you're at today. This is Pam Hanks, and I'm excited to do a little interview today. My topic is recognizing your seasons in life, and I have got an amazing guest that I'm going to interview today that I feel like, we always talk about successful women, and when I start to think about the women who have blessed my life, this is one person who always comes to my mind. And so I'm excited to let you get to know her a little bit today and ask her some questions. But I really feel like she is going to give us a little bit of light on recognizing your seasons in your life and letting go when things don't serve you anymore. And so for those of you who are hopping on maybe this podcast for the first time, my name is Pam Hanks. I am in network marketing. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm also a salon owner. And I'm very passionate about helping other people feel good about themselves and feel beautiful. And both of the industries that I'm in serve me in that purpose. And so I'm grateful that you're on listening today. But let me introduce to you one of my really good friends. We have been friends for 17 years. And I remember this was how I was introduced to this network marketing or direct sales industry. And my sister is the one who introduced me to beautiful Wendy McGee. And I'm going to let her share her story here in a minute, but I will never forget my sister asking me to host an in-home party with a little storybooking company that taught us how to preserve our family stories and our memories and put them into this storybook. And of course, you can't tell your sister no. Well, actually, I told my sister no like 5 times. And so on number 6, I had to say, fine, I'll do this for you, right? But this beautiful woman walked into my living room, and she was the one who hosted or who presented this party. And I just remember how she carried herself. I remember her introduction of herself. I remember the passion that she had. Now, this company was new at that time, but I remember thinking, oh my goodness, this is a person I probably want to follow, and I could learn a lot from her. And so listening to her that very day before she left my house after that party that night, we signed me up into this industry, and I have been passionate about the industry ever since. But Wendy, I am so excited to ask you a few questions, and if you would kind of give us a little bit of an introduction about you. That's kind of how I feel and how I remember getting to know you. But give us a little bit of background about you.
Well, Pam, I am so happy to be your guest today, and I'm so excited to be able to listen and to learn more from you. I always love any chance that we have to be able to talk is the highlight of my day and makes me just feel as inspired as everyone else around you feels. And so I thank you for all those kind words. I have thought the entire 17 years that we've known each other that we had such an awesome connection from the very beginning. And anyway, I'm so excited to be on today, and I am thrilled to share a little bit of my story with everyone who's listening. So I guess I remember that party. I remember coming to your home, and I remember coming to Florrie, and I remember that you ended up making a book about your dad, right? Is that right?
Right.
From that party?
Yes.
Yep.
We
I
did.
remember that. Just so. And this is kind of a little off, but I think it's so important to be passionate about what you're, the thing that you're offering to other people. And I was so excited about that new company and so excited about the product of sharing the ability to create stories and photos and memories. And I still am so passionate about that. Even though that has changed and, the circumstances around that company or doing that company are a little different now, I still love that. And I remember being excited at every party that I did for the people that were like, oh, I know who I'm going to do a book for. I know who I want to write a story for. And that just lit my fire again and again and again about that business. But so I am a small town girl. I grew up in Richfield, Utah, actually Glenwood, which is actually even a little bit more small than Richfield, but I grew up just the most, like really in a very positive home, really outgoing parents, very entrepreneurial parents. And I think I always really grew up thinking, I could just kind of do anything. Like I was really blessed to have a lot of positive influence in my life when I was younger. And that really helped me throughout, lots of ups and downs and not so positive experiences that have happened along the way, right, to all of us. But, yeah, I went to college. I graduated high school, went to college, just, kind of your normal thing. My dad's a dentist, and so I got kind of directed in the direction of dentistry. So I went to dental hygiene school. I went to BYU and then Weber State. I graduated, got my dental hygiene degree, and started working. I got married in the process of that, and I just was going to go the normal route. You just get a degree or you get a profession of some kind, you start working, get married, and everything is just, la la la, right? There you go. So, but when I was 24 years old, I found myself a single mother with a 1-year-old baby daughter. I had this great education, great job, but I was now getting a divorce. And my whole entire world, turned upside down. I literally never saw that for myself. And I was I was the first person in my graduating class of 120 people to get divorced, and that was just really an awesome honor to have. I'm like, wow, awesome! I am killing it in life. This is going to be great. So I had to learn early on that life does not always hand you exactly what you think, but that great blessings can come out of great challenges. And so that was a difficult time in my life, but I gained a lot from that. I gained a lot of strength from that. And I can tell you more, but I went on to, I got remarried and I went on to work as a hygienist for a while. But then I decided when we were going to have our second daughter that I wanted to stay home and I wanted to work from home and I wanted to create something that would allow me to be a stay-at-home mom. Because, the minute you have that very first little amazing little baby, all of a sudden the person that you were is gone and there's a new person that replaces you.
Right.
Has a whole different
yes.
It's like your whole being just changes. Your heart changes, everything that matters to you changes. And so I became extremely passionate about going after the dream of being a stay-at-home mom and still having a career. I still wanted to help. I still wanted to support my husband in our life. I still wanted outside friends. I still wanted relationships and purpose outside of being a mom. But so I started my own company, and then I ended up finding direct sales, which is how I found you. So that's kind of how's that for a nutshell?
I love that.
Not very short.
I love it. And you know what? I want to take you back to that for just a second. Let's talk a little bit more about, when you were a kid, when you were growing up and you had these awesome influences in your life and you saw that your dad was a dentist and he had his own business and all of that. Did you think you wanted to be an entrepreneur when you grew up? I mean, many times we just fall into, and I think you hit this perfectly, many times we just fall into what life hands us, right? And we stop as adults, we stop dreaming and we forget what we wanted to be when we were little kids. And so hit on that for me for just a minute. Did you know you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or was that the passion that you found once you had your second daughter?
I think it was definitely the passion that I found once I had Kaylee and McKenna. And the reason that I say that is, my dad is a dentist and he's an entrepreneur of sorts, but he also followed the college path. He went down go to college, start your business, have a career. He wasn't I think once you've been a direct seller for a while or started your own company, or that's kind of a whole different beast that you have no idea what the elephant that you're like, wow, why am I doing this? This is awesome, but I'm crazy. So, but I look back on growing up, and the thing that I really, really all the time, those voices in your head that come from childhood. for good or bad, that tell you, that are your stories that you tell yourself, right? Your whole life. And I think one of them was just that my mom and dad, especially my dad, I would say, was always very like, Wendy, you can do anything. Like, you can do anything. Like, I showed horses when I was younger. So when I was about 8 years old, we moved out to Glenwood, and my dad and mom bought enough property that we could have horses. And it was something that my mom had grown up with horses. My dad was just super supportive of it. And I ended up doing a lot of showing, and I did English equitation, and I showed all over the country. I ended up getting a scholarship to BYU for part of my scholarship for BYU came from my horses. And I learned so much from that. Like, I learned about really working hard to, achieve things, and taking care of an animal that was your responsibility. And just like my mom and dad just really, really just encouraged me in anything that I wanted to do. I was a total science geek. Like, I did a science fair project every year from 7th grade to 12th grade. Like, how completely geeky is that? But I loved science. Like, and my dad and I always really, we have a lot of common interests. Like, I think that's probably why I pursued dental hygiene, is because I was really, close with my dad and had a lot of the same interests. So growing up, I would say, Pam, like, I think that if you look back at the, like, home life that you have, or even, other people that are outside influences outside of your parents, I had some really positive ones that were like, you know what, you're awesome, you can do anything you want. And I know that is not how it is for every single person. And I see people and women that I've worked with that seek out mentors and role models that will help talk to them that way, to help change their story and help them to know that, you know what, you really can go after anything you want. And I'm so grateful. I mean, the older that I get, like my biggest goal in life is to make sure that the women that I work with and my own children know that they have, limitless possibility, right?
Right.
You know about that.
Right.
And that they feel like they really can go after things. And because I'll tell you, when I decided to quit my $35 an hour dental hygiene job and start a business from nothing, you have to have you have to be pretty oblivious to real life, or
right.
have just a real fire that you can make it happen, because that is I look back and I think, if I'd known then what I know now, would I have done that? But I think I still would have. But anyway, back to your question, I think that just watching, like, what I could do in my young life when I put my mind to it was really built in me a confidence, I think, and a desire to always want to go after things, and then to really take a lot of joy and pride in watching other people succeed too. My parents were really good at lifting others and having us celebrate the successes of our siblings. And, they didn't create a competitive environment. They really created an environment where we could all, excel. And so I'm really grateful for that, because I know that isn't always how it is.
Right. Well, and you and I could probably agree on this. I think that's, both of us have a passion for this industry because we do get to help women, and the personal development that comes from this industry, really, it gives a lot of those women, like you said, it gives them things that they didn't have growing up. They are not confident, or maybe they were confident, as a young child, but they've kind of lost that. And so to watch somebody grow and have that personal development, that is definitely one of the highlights that we get as, coaches or uplines or team leaders or whatever you want to call us. That really is one of the great benefits. So tell me a little bit about what was it like being a mom as an entrepreneur. I know you were so blessed. We've both been so blessed to be able to be home with our kids and raise our kids, and you and I are in the same boat with just one child left at home. We're closely, we're very, very, way too close to that empty nester feeling that's coming about.
It's staring at us.
It is staring at us. But tell us what it was like to be able to be there, to go to soccer, to go to dance class, all of that stuff, to being an entrepreneur while you were raising your kids.
Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can watch part 2 with Wendy McGee.